So I want to explain or demonstrate for you what we're talking about for the proper seat for pranayama and meditation. So in Letters from the Yoga Masters, we have on page 57 a discussion about the controlled lower abdomen. And all that this means is in order to have an upright spine, we want to sit upright and correctly. So the idea is to have the spine nice and straight for meditation and pranayama for the best expansion of the lungs. So if we slouch, you can immediately see there's a change in my spine here. And so Eric Schiffman was a great teacher for me in teaching how to sit erectly for meditation. And what he would do is lengthen forward, and then as you come up, finding your upright seat, and then Swami Kuvalayananda spoke of this from Kaivalya Dhamma Ashram, is if you slightly lean back on the sit bones, then you'll feel a very slight firmness below the navel. If you lean forward, now the lower belly relaxes. So if you just have that slight leaning back, then this gives you a gentle mula bandha and supports you. If you lean back too far, you're struggling to stay upright. So it's just a little bit of a dance of letting the belly relax and then leaning back on your sit bones and finding that slight engagement. Then when you do the pranayama, when you breathe in, you're breathing in into the chest cavity above the navel, and you can really feel this upright expansion with the lungs, as opposed to if you lean forward, let the belly relax. I feel so much more down here, but not so much up here. So this little slight movement of mula bandha allows for this wonderful expansion of the lungs. So that's discussed in the book on page 57. Now, if we flip over to page 162, Swami Vishnu Thirt talked about allowing for the three bandhas in a mild way to hold us in an upright position for meditation. So the purpose for this is that the spine then has all those natural curves, but not too exaggerated. So the belly comes in, and then the same thing with the chin, with the Jalandhara. So we'll go through this, but what we want is the erectness of the spine so that it is free and open for the raising of the kundalini or any energy movement in your meditation. So this upright position is essential. If we're meditating like this, even if we're sitting in a chair, we want to have this upright spine here. So we would start in the same way of leaning forward, coming upright, finding those sit bones. Try and keep myself in the picture here. Finding those sit bones and the slight firmness below the navel. Then, of course, there's a mild core strength to hold you there, and that's your Uddiyana. That's the mild Uddiyana that we're referring to on page 162 in Letters from the Yoga Masters. And there's a little diagram of a person sitting in meditation. Happens to be a drawing of me. But in the diagram, when we get to Jalandhara Bandha at the throat, it's too exaggerated in the diagram. That's important to note because we don't want to lower our chin like this for meditation. And so you'll find your slight firmness below the navel, and then you have your slight Uddiyana, which gives you core support, because this is a lot of work to train these muscles. And then we're merely trying to find where the chin is parallel to the floor. And then that takes a bit of this exaggerated curve out of the neck. So myself being short, I think my natural position is to have my chin up, but that's not. And so I've exaggerated this curve so the Sushumna channel is not exactly as it could be when I slightly lower the chin there. And then this becomes your position for meditation and for pranayama. So in pranayama, the Jalandhara bandha would be increased where we would lower that chin more. But in meditation, we just want to have the most direct spine. So slight firmness below the navel by finding your sit bones, sitting on them. Core strength comes in, and then lowering the chin to be parallel. And this gives a nice clear passageway for the Sushumna for your meditation. Thank you.